Yeah, I want to address the subject of knee pain. A lot of people go to work out, or even if they're not working out, they might have knee pain, and it's various reasons. Also, sometimes the cartilage in the body will break down too. It's something maybe genetic or lack of nutrition. Not 100% sure why that happens. Sometimes it's due to like excessive athletics. Now, I'm going to state that actually I've been running pretty much since I was like 14 years old, almost not every year, all the time. Sometimes it would be sporadic, 2 or 3 times a week. But most of the time it was 7 days a week. And I think my regimen for many years was 8 to 10 miles of hills a day, plus a bike ride at night. And then on the weekends I would do between 12 and 20 miles long distance running, or maybe 80 to 120 miles on a bicycle. Every day, never give a rest. And I rarely had problems with knees, but sometimes I did. But I'm going to go into a number of different ways to take care of the problems. One is through nutrition. Now, obviously, since I do all this stuff and I've been doing it so long, I must be replacing things that are wearing down on my knees very well by nutrition. Now, one thing I do take, I don't take this all the time, and actually if you have a problem, you should take this quite a bit, but it's glucosamine chondroitin with MSM. MSM is a type of natural sulfur. Very important actually throughout the body. A lot of times people even claim that MSM helps with arthritis. Just from feedback, and actually animals take the MSM too. Seems to help them with arthritis. Actually, in the veterinary world, they'll do this. Now, that seems to actually help keep things from wearing down as much because you're replacing stuff. Now, I've really never had too many problems with knees. I had a couple problems a couple times, and I'll tell you what I did. It wasn't just supplements. There's various things. There's various tricks. I've been dealing with this for like a gazillion years, and I know pretty much every trick there is. Now, and I actually I got into doing the elliptical for 3 hours a day. Now, I backed off doing it to 100 minutes to 120 minutes. Basically, hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours a day. And I might actually increase it back to 3 hours a day. But I was doing 3 hours a day of the elliptical from, I'd say, 2007 to 2011, 365 days a year. And actually was doing sometimes 5 hours at high intensity and well within the 85 to 90% cardio rate. That extreme, and I was actually halfway anorexic doing that stuff. But I was taking a lot of supplements, and I didn't have problems with my knees. That's amazing. But I'm going to get into other things because it's not just supplements. But this one's a good one to take because it's a combination of several things. You don't want to actually have to remember to take too many different capsules and things. This is glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM all in one. And MSM actually has a number of uses in the body. Now, some of the conventional medicine says no, but in the veterinary world, I'll repeat it again. They give this to like dogs and cats that had problems with arthritic conditions, and it helped them limber up in their joints. It's okay to say it for an animal. It's not okay to say it for a human, maybe. I don't know, but there's a lot of people that said it works. Now, I take MSM all the time. I don't always take this glucosamine chondroitin. If you're allergic to shellfish, you don't want to take that. You can still just take plain MSM, and that's normally what I take. Another thing to take is hyaluronic acid. Now, hyaluronic acid sounds like something intense, but it's actually natural. ABC actually did a special some years ago, I think in 2007, about the village of Long Life in Japan. And they suspect, it's their suspicion, that the diet they have in that particular village has like these roots and beets and potatoes or certain types of potatoes, has a lot of hyaluronic acid in it. And there's people like 100 years old with no wrinkles, and people are smoking with no wrinkles and basically no wrinkles, and they believe it's because of the hyaluronic acid. The hyaluronic acid has a lot to do with collagen production, and the fluid around the joint, around the knees, and the collagen, which is all around the knees, but it's all to your skin. Collagen goes throughout the whole body. So even if you're not taking this specifically for knee pain or something, it's not a bad thing to do as preventive type thing. I will take this not every day, but there's so many supplements that I have that I rotate things. Now, the one thing I used to do, there's actually several things. If I would start feeling pain, actually there's slight adjustments that you can do when you're running or you're bicycling that will make the difference, all the difference in the world. Especially if you're on a bicycle and if you pick up the cadence a little bit more, you'll have less pressure on the knee and you'll have more blood flow. Now the other thing I'm going to get into a little bit more on that, because that is super important, and it's almost like you got to kind of listen to your own body. But man, that is super important. But one thing I always found out was like, this is called Blue Goo or Icy Hot. This stuff does work pretty good. It does provide pretty fast, instantaneous relief to a lot of times joint pain. It's kind of a topical treatment, but it gets deep down in there, provides heat. It doesn't work bad, because actually if you feel some kind of pain coming on, if you can like lower that inflammation and work out nice and light, not too strong, keep the blood flowing. When you're keeping that blood flowing and you're not straining things, you're just circulating fluids, and you brought down the inflammation a little bit with something like this, it can actually help the body speed up the recovery. A lot of times, if I had a lot of pain, I would work out anyway, but very light, just to keep the blood flowing. As a matter of fact, many times I'd found that if there was point pain and slight pains coming on, walking helped, or very light running helped, or very light, easier bicycling helped by keeping the blood flowing, because you want to keep the fluids moving in and out of the injured area and keep changing it out. I want to get on to a little bit about the bicycling though, because there is a trick to that can actually help repair knees. Because I've had one problem one time that lasted for months and months and months, and I thought it was never going to go away. And it was how I exercised that made it go away faster. Pretty damn, in my opinion anyway. Now something else you can actually do, this is Soda Instruments BT7 Biotuner. I went through this on other videos and various uses for this. But you can actually take the pins out, like these are for, there's actually ear clips that go on it for the Biotuner. And you can put it on setting 3 or setting 6, which is the Schumann Earth frequency. And you can attach these self-adhesive medical pads and put one on each side of the knee, and use it on setting 3, which is the Schumann Earth frequency, or setting 6, which is the Schumann Earth frequency on half power, and put the that frequency through the knee. This actually works like a TENS unit. So if you turn it on, you could see, there it is. It's on setting 3. So you can actually use this to help repair. It doesn't repair itself. It helps. The electronic frequency that it puts out, emits, actually helps the body heal a little faster. It works like a TENS unit too. That's a very good thing. Now to get back to the trick that I used for repairing the knees with the bicycle, I found like a lot of times if you see like in sports recovery or when they're doing physical therapy, person has a problem with their knee, they'll have them use the bicycle. The important thing is to keep the cadence up, the RPMs. Do not try to use real hard exercise. Keep it light exercise, a faster cadence. They usually would recommend 80 RPMs. I would do 90 to 95, but not where I'm straining the knee. It's like a faster cadence. And the other thing is, I'm not demonstrating it here because I don't have a bicycle exerciser. I have a couple regular bicycles. But you do not want to fully extend the knee. Like if the knee is here and you're doing this, it's coming down, it's going like that. If you're fully extending the knee, you are straining your knee again. You do not want to fully extend the knee. And you will also be rocking your hips, which will cause back problems. A lot of times the bicycle can be bad or good. Depends on how it's set up and also how the cadence is, the RPMs, the revolutions per minute that the people are using it for. But the bicycle is actually, when I had a actually severe problem with knees, and back in the 90s or something, I've used that bicycle for 3 hours a day at about 90 to 95 RPMs, and every day. And so many months later, it was actually repaired, and I was actually running the fastest I ever ran after that. It was like amazing. It repaired it like a miracle. There is a lot of benefits of actually exercising, not pushing through the pain. You don't want to, like, if you're feeling really bad pain, you don't want to do anything. Absolutely not. But if it's almost like if the body warms up a little bit and you're doing light exercise and all of a sudden you're feeling a little bit better, just go with it. Just go with it nice and easy, because as you move the blood and the fluid through that area, it's helping bring new nutrients in there or new things to repair it. But you do not want to exercise so hard that you're straining things again. But it seems to actually bring down the swelling and brings nutrients in there and stuff. I found that, and actually you will see physical therapists will recommend the bicycle a lot of times for therapy with the knees. But it depends on how much pain you have and what happens. But you also have to be very careful on how you, I mean, it's not like super critical, but you do not want to extend your knee fully, because first off, that's putting strain on your knee. And you'll also be rocking your hips like this, which can cause back pain. You want to have it where your knee has a slight bend at the end, and you want to go with a light pressure, not much force, not much pedaling force, but a higher RPM. There's something with the bicycling seems to be extremely therapeutic for the knee, and I found that out from experience too. But before you do that, you might want to put a little bit of this on here, the icy hot. At night or at times of when you're sitting down, you can use the TENS unit, but also the nutritional support. And like I said, the hyaluronic acid, it actually helps with the collagen production. That's hyaluronic acid. It can actually, it's something that's very good for the body anyway. It's good for the collagen. Like, in other words, ABC, some years back in 2007, did this special on the village of long life in Japan. And these people seem to be like all over 100 years old for the most part, and look young and stay young, and are strong and everything. Like they live much longer than even the average Japanese, which has a very long longevity on average. But this one place, they suspected that the diet contained a lot of hyaluronic acid in it. So, I mean, it's good for the joints, it's good for the fluid in the joints, it's good for the collagen, cartilage, but it's also good for you anyway. And actually, you'll find a lot of skin creams, some of the best ones, contain a little bit of hyaluronic acid in it to actually, help with wrinkles and skin regeneration and that type of stuff. It's not bad to take anyway. Now this, you could take the chondroitin, glucosamine, and MSM. Now, you don't even have to, if you're allergic to shellfish, just get the plain MSM. I take both of these, but I usually always take the MSM every day. It's like the sulfur that's required by the body. It seems to help. People swear by it a lot of times, where it seems to help with arthritis. That's what a lot of feedback from people have said. But, really the proof to me on it, where it works, is like they seem to use it on animals a lot, and it helps with the animals and their joints and stuff. So, but if you have knee pain, I'd recommend all these things. The chondroitin, glucosamine, MSM, or just the MSM with the hyaluronic acid. Try the icy hot or this blue goo, whatever. It's like pretty good stuff. It'll give you some instant relief. The bicycle, very important. The bicycle actually, but you have to remember, a lot of amateurs, you get on a bicycle, they put the seat too high, too low. You want to have a slight bend in your knee when it gets to the bottom of the pedal stroke. Slight bend. Doesn't want to go fully extended. And you want to be in a high enough cadence where you're pedaling at least 80 RPMs. I usually do it 90 to 95, but not hard, not where you're like racing. It's like something where you can comfortably do it for a long period of time. Your heart rate isn't going that fast. It's up a little bit, but not that much. You want to have it as a nice light but fast cadence. And that seems to actually bring a lot of nutrients and fluids and things moving in and out of the knee in the area, and it helps to repair it a lot faster. I swear that helped me, and I thought I was done one time when I had a problem with the knee. That was bad. But and the other thing is, I recommend like a TENS unit. This can actually double as a TENS unit if you buy these medical pads, so the instruments, BT7 BioTuner. You put one pad on each side of the knee, put it on setting 3 or setting 6, but usually setting 3 with human earth frequency. And the currents actually will help, and that frequency will help the body repair on its own. That's actually, per scientist, it's not really controversial that you're making medical claims, but it is per scientist. The best scientists will tell you the human earth frequency has a healing effect on the body. So that would be my multi-pronged approach to healing knee pain, and it works pretty well because I've been dealing with this, and actually I don't think there's anything special about me genetically that I was able to work out to the excessive levels, which is totally, people would say, I'd be at the gym, how long have you been on that thing? I'd be on there for 3 hours, 4 hours, usually 3 hours, but sometimes 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, few times 8 hours on elliptical. I mean, that's, and, people would wonder how the hell I could stay on there so long and not have my knees go out and stuff. I think it has a lot to do with how I do things, because I listen to my body. Slight adjustments can make a major, major, major difference in how your knees react. And that's something I really can't explain too well, because it can be a slight change in your running style, slight change in the position on the bicycle can make a major difference. But what I recommended about the bicycle is correct. It's standard pretty much SOP for physical therapy, higher cadence. Don't let your knees lock straight, but you got to have enough extension where you're getting the force of your leg down there, but not locked open. And the supplements. I think the supplements help a lot, because I should have worn out my knee cartilage a long, long time ago, but I do take these supplements, so I'm assuming they're helping me. I assume they're helping me. So, that's the best tips I can possibly pass on about this, because actually I've dealt with this for a number of years, and I don't know what the hell mileage I must have done over my lifetime. I remember I logged in some miles, and it says, for 1,000-mile club. I don't know, I think I did it inside of it was ridiculous. Some people were taking a year to do 1,000 miles. I don't know, I think I did it in some ridiculously short time, because I was running basically 8 to 10 a day for one workout, and at lunchtime 12 to 20 on the weekends, and that type of stuff every day, 365 a year. And if I wasn't running, I would be doing 80 to 120 miles. Sometimes a 150 was a few mile highest distances on a bicycle with hills. And actually all my runs, 8 to 10 miles, were always in very hilly terrain. So I should have worn my knees out, but obviously I must be doing something right. I think it has to do with a lot to do with the nutrition. So, it is important, despite what they say sometimes. It is very important.